welcome back. If you don't know why we are here, take a look at episode 1 and find out. I am honoring the theme today of being my truly authentic self, okay? I jumped out of the shower. You can find me like this in my natural habitat. All right, so with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and go over what my therapist told me our plan is for the week, and then I will give you some thoughts on my first few pages of starting off with the boundary boss. So let's go ahead and get into it. Just as a recap, we are midweek in, and I've already set up my goals for the week coming ahead. So basically, what my therapist said is that I need to do 3 things this week for self-care. On top of those 3 things, I need to start reading Boundary Boss. There is no page limits or max out or whatever, but I am trying to take my time with it. Then I need to watch 2 Patrick Tehan, I think his name is, videos. And that's pretty much it for my homework this week, as therapy wise. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and let you know my personal weekly goals, because again, you guys know that I am off work already. Just for being off work for a few days, I am already starting to feel like getting back to more of a regulated state, just knowing that I don't have to go to work tomorrow. And I think that just shows something about the work environment here, and how much stress it puts on us, but it also puts us in a situation where we have to go to work to pay our bills. So my big question right now is okay, when I go back to work, I need to make sure that I figure out a way also to keep regulated, but that's gonna be after the 6 weeks. So for my 6 weeks, some weekly goals that I have planned right now, obviously on a weekly basis, I want to revamp my goals, okay? And that is on my weekly goals list. So I want to set up weekly schedules. I want to schedule weekly planners. For me, it just helps me. It's something that I enjoy doing. If that's too much for you, if that's not something that you want to do and you enjoy doing, that's totally fine. No big deal. Something that I like to do. I do want to get 10 minutes of sunlight per day. I think any of you guys that may experience depression, you can know that it's or understand that it's easy to be inside all day, and sometimes you just don't want to get out of bed, and sometimes just stepping outside for 10 minutes actually does help. And I know that might sound kind of bizarre to somebody who's not going through depression or have never experienced that before, but if you do and experience depression, you can probably relate to that. And 10 minutes might not seem like a lot to you, but that is my current goal, because that is where I'm at. I would like to start doing some yoga. My goal is 3 days a week. We will see. I am heading into a week where I'm expected to feel a bit more tired just because of my cancer medications that I'm on. But I did advocate for myself and got that lowered. That is not an option for some people, but you do have a right to your own body. You have a right to your own treatment. And I'm just going to throw that out there. I would like to walk 4 days a week. I have a treadmill here in my apartment, so I think that's going to help a lot. I'm wondering if walking 4 days a week is too much of a goal, a big goal for me. And again, I don't know what that's going to look like. We'll see next week if I'm able to, keep up with it. Again, for a normal person or whatever that is fully healthy and normally exercising, walking 4 days a week probably is not a big deal. But again, we're working with where we're at right now, and that's okay. Obviously, I have my laundry, my dishes, my chores on the list for this week. I do need to start cleaning up. I don't my apartment's not a wreck because I overall just don't have a lot of stuff. But I do think that when you are dysregulated and things are really overwhelming, things start to get dirty. Like, I don't even know if I have mopped my floor in the last 2 months. And I know that sounds crazy for some of you. But again, that's where I'm at. I used to do that every single week as part of my routine. So if you can just, get the comparison. Starting Boundary Boss, check that. We have already started. I am currently only on page 13, but that is okay. Watching my videos, like I said, from therapy. I do plan on doing some meditations. I like the guided meditations. Those really work well for me. Some people, like just like the sound meditations or whatever. Find meditations that work for you. At the current moment, I'm not in a spot where I feel very comfortable just like sitting by myself and listening to nothing and silence. Like, my significant other is really good at that. Like, he does not need anything to like guide him in that direction. For me, it's something that I need. Sitting with my own thoughts right now is not something that's pleasant for me. So I like guided meditations. And then I do plan on going to a meeting about like codependency. So one thing that's really interesting about what I've learned about codependency is that a lot of people think it's all about like, control, but it shows up again in like a lot of different ways. And I will link a video below on like hidden signs of codependency, just so you can see how it's not always about like the traditional what you think of like needing to be around somebody all the time. It's sometimes it could be like needing people's validation, so you're constantly doing for others. So with that being said, okay, let's get into the first 13 pages of Boundary Boss. Honestly, if you don't have this book, I'm already going to recommend it. I am 13 pages in. I already know that it was a really good idea for my therapist to recommend this to me. So one of the things that was said in this book was like, what would it look like to be your authentic self? And this is something that my therapist asked me as well, but I think that the way that she breaks it down in this book just makes it really feasible for you to start thinking about it. Again, I labeled this episode Curiosity because that's where I'm at right now. I feel like I'm in a big stage of curiosity. I don't know what it would look like to live in my fully authentic self because I'm so used to filtering everything that I'm experiencing. And so I'm trying, obviously, clearly not to filter today. I've got my no makeup on, my hair is in a bun, that's my first step. But also, when we talk about, thinking about our own personal needs, like we have to vocalize those. And that is something that's really challenging for me. So, what would it look or feel like to start speaking my exact truth and be my fully authentic self without worrying about what others will think or how they will react to it? That is the big question that I am going to be in serious contemplation about this week. Like, what would that even look like? I feel like I know that everyone says like we are not responsible for other people's feelings, but that's not something that is easy for me to like process, because I am always, and I know that's an exaggeration, I'm aware of that, but I am frequently feeling like it is my responsibility to, handle other people's feelings. And I know it's not, but especially in my career, like I'm with students all day long. And I do want to make sure that I set my boundaries, but also that I don't hurt one of their feelings because they are also like students and they're children. And I do have a sense of responsibility for caring about them and their emotions and their feelings and catering to their needs. Um, but with adults, it's a little different. But I think I'm so used to being in that repetition that it is hard. Like, it is definitely hard to be like, okay, how do I state my needs without worrying about what other people feel? Like, if I'm at an event and I don't want to be an event, like, how do I communicate that? If somebody's texting me, what does it feel like to not feel like I urgently have to respond back? Or, just little things like that. Yeah. So, anyways, it seems basic. I wrote down in my notebook, I said it seems basic, but how many times do we do things out of obligation, okay? Or just because we feel guilty or like shame if we don't do it? So that is the big question, And then it just got me thinking about like society's program and how like we just reinforce the whole like mentality of burnout, right? And not catering to our own needs, and just like go 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 without stop, right? Go 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 will get you that raise. Go 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 will get you that job. Go 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 will make you better mom. Go 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 will make you better significant other, right? But like, how many times do we ever take time to like sit and think about ourselves, right? And you've probably heard that so many times, but it is something that I need a constant reminder of. Like, I need to be reminded this more than just once a week, probably, right? So I have to think about why I need a constant reminder of that. And then I think it's also just easier in general. Like, we use it as a survival mechanism, right? If we are doing things for others and constantly thinking about other people, being a people pleaser, right? Then it's non-confrontational, right? It's easier to just go with it than to deal with what the conflict or confrontation might be. And the confrontation might not be even like an argument or anything. The confrontation might just be like, thinking about how you guys could compromise. It's something little. It could be something little like food, right? Like, oh, where do you want to eat? Oh, this person wants Chinese food. This person, I don't know, wants like Mexican food or whatever. And you guys have to decide where, right? But then people, they get in the habit, like myself, might just be like, oh, I want to go to Chinese food because they want to go to Chinese food, when in reality, like, I might want Mexican food, right? So it's just little things like that. When you get in the habit and the repetition, like your day-to-day things, they might not seem that serious or whatever, but it is just a constant like reinforcement of you doing this behavior, right? And then it just becomes part of your habits and you don't really realize even that you're doing it. So a lot of it also is like being aware. And my significant other mentioned this really important thing. Like, it could be something as little as, in his life, it was putting barbecue on chicken, right? So like, his mom was making chicken and he didn't want barbecue sauce on his chicken. Like, he's trying to watch his sugar because it doesn't make him feel good. So he had to step out of his comfort zone just to tell his mom that he didn't want barbecue on the chicken. You know what I mean? And I can totally relate to that, and I'm sure that many of you can, because you're worried about maybe your parents being like, oh, well, you don't like the way I cook, or like, why don't you want any barbecue on your chicken? You're just gonna eat it bland. It's little things like that. But anyways, and don't get me wrong, like, we should be helping others. Like, we don't want to be a total jerk or, a-hole to society. Like, I am not saying that. This message is for the person that is just constantly doing for others and not doing anything for themselves, right? It's easy for us to give back to the community. It's easy for us to put in community service hours. It's easy for us to do for others, but like, what are we doing for ourselves? Like, who are we? What is our identity without worrying and catering to other people, right? So there are different spectrums of people. There are people that are extremely selfish, but I am not talking to that person right now, right? So again, like, the main thing for me for my curiosity and my journey right now is like, how do I break the barrier of just being like fully authentically, I think that's the word, authentically myself without worrying about feedback, negative feedback, or any type of really feedback, like, So, anyways, thank you guys for tuning in and stay tuned. I'll give you an update in about a week. And thank you guys for taking this time to go on this journey with me. And we will see you later. Bye.